We are in the village of Papanaidupet, 140 kilometers northwest of Madras. This village is specialised in the manufacture of beads from tubes of glass that are not blown but drawn. Melting the raw glass, drawing out the tubes, cutting the tubes into tiny cylindrical beads, reheating, polishing, stringing the beads on a cotton thread to make up the bundles that will finally be sold. All these stages are required to create the finished product. The furnace for tube drawing is situated in a rectangular shed open on two sides, whose roof is supported by granite pillars. It consists of an oval heating oven with a large working hole. At the bottom of the fire pit is a grill so that the ashes can be removed. The oven is fed from the left via the semicircular stoke hole, and beneath this is the ash pit. To the right, a rectangular platform inclines towards a flue in the oven wall. To the back of the furnace, there is a tunnel roughly 1.5 meters long, through which the glass tube is drawn. A tablet of granite placed on a brick platform is used for shaping the melted raw glass into a regular cone. This is known as the marver. At the other end of the shed is the place where the tubes are cut after being drawn some 10 meters in length. And then there is a basin in which the tools can be cooled. After having fired up the oven, the first stage of the work involves pouring chunks of raw glass, bought from the glassworks in Firozabad, onto the rectangular platform adjoining the furnace. The platform is then covered with large, bowl-shaped fragments of baked clay that will concentrate the heat so that the glass becomes soft. After some 40 minutes, these clay fragments are removed and the soft glass is rolled onto the end of a hollow metal rod about 3 meters long. The chunks of raw glass stick to the rod as it is rolled through them. Then the glass is put into the oven to further melt into a regular, workable mass. The platform is covered once again by the clay bowls to increase the heat. This stage is repeated twice in order to obtain a compact mass of glass weighing some 50 kilos, and the platform is emptied of the raw glass. After leaving it to rest, the mass of glass is reheated. From a shapeless lump, the glass will be worked into a cylinder that will then be marvered on the granite tablet. An important moment is when the mass of glass is pierced by a thin piston that is inserted into the hollow metal rod. It creates a hollow inside the glass. A handful of powdered brick is pushed into this hollow, and this maintains the pocket of air necessary for creating the tube. The cylinder of glass is then marvered into a cone.
Can you give me one cigarette?
Yeah.
Once the cone has been properly shaped, it is put back into the oven, and two workers place themselves in front of the furnace and keep the glass rolling back and forth. At the other side of the furnace, at the mouth of the tunnel, another glass worker tries to catch the point of the hot glass cone with a metal hook, with which he will begin to draw out the glass tube. The glass is drawn some 10 meters, creating a tube that is only 3 millimeters in diameter, and that is then cut into lengths of 1.8 meters. The drawing of the glass is very gradual. The tube is cut by hand, and the lengths are placed on a cement surface. There they are checked and tied into bundles by another worker. This stage of the process lasts all night. The bundles are taken to different points in the village, to houses or open-air workshops, where the tubes are cut into 3 lengths of 60 centimeters each.
By family, they do this job? Like the father or his father was doing the same job?
Seated in front of a white cloth, the worker lines up the tubes. He then cuts them using a little tool with a serrated edge placed vertically and a sort of thin axe. He holds the tubes together with a small strip of wood. The tiny cylindrical beads are stored in a metal bowl.
This takes only night time. Ready. இந்த மாவு மட்டும்தான் இந்த மாவு மட்டும்தான் இதே மாதிரி எல்லா கலரும்
The beads are taken to the polishing workshop. This is another shed that is divided into 3 workspaces. A space for reheating and smoothing the beads in a furnace, a space for sieving, and a space for pounding the beads. In the oven, the cylindrical beads are put into a big clay bowl and mixed with cow dung to stop them from sticking together. The glassworker keeps stirring the beads with a metal hook as the heat makes them smooth and round. The contents of the bowl are then poured onto a smooth cement floor and sieved to remove any trace of the cow dung. Thereafter, the beads are mixed with rice dust and placed in a tall wooden mortar made from a tree trunk and pounded. This way they are polished and the holes are unblocked. Then the beads are poured back and forth several times from metal buckets in order to get rid of any remaining impurities. Once again, the beads are taken to the houses of the village, where the women will string them onto cotton thread and prepare skeins of beads. The woman holds a fan of long needles and, with a regular rhythmic movement, she spears the beads.
This takes only night.